Sometimes you pray, but there's no answer. Sometimes you do everything you can, but nothing changes. And in that silence, that question crosses your mind. Does God not love me? If you've ever thought this, you're not alone. But what if I told you, maybe the problem isn't that God's love is lacking, it's that you're looking for it in the wrong places. In life's heaviest moments, on those dark nights when the weight of your burden crushes your shoulders, a voice rises from within. If God exists and loves me, why am I suffering so much? This question isn't of weakness, it's a question of depth. Asking these questions isn't a sign of unbelief. On the contrary, it's the raw expression of a longing to be loved. Because you wouldn't ask someone you don't care about, "Do you love me?" Is pain a sign of abandonment? Think back to your childhood. When your mother took you to the doctor and the doctor gave you a shot, did you look at your mother for a moment? Did you look at her as if to say, "Why are you letting this happen?" Did you not see your mother in that moment? No. On the contrary, she loved you so much that she wanted you to endure that pain because it was necessary for your future. Pain is not always the absence of something. Sometimes it is the most incomprehensible language of the deepest love. But this answer is often insufficient, isn't it? Because some pains aren't like a needle prick. Some pains are the loss of someone, a crumbling marriage, something you've struggled for but can't attain, illness, loneliness. And in the midst of that pain, saying, "This is for your own good," feels like an empty consolation. So, then, why me? The real question behind the question. Does God not love me? When you dig a little deeper, you find different questions beneath. Am I worthless? Did I ask for something I didn't deserve? Does this pain have any meaning? Am I alone? Most of the time, this question isn't a theological debate directed at God. It's a deeply wounded person asking, "Am I important?" And the answer to this question is unequivocal. Yes, you are important. Your existence is no accident. What you feel is real. The burden you carry should not be taken lightly. And if you are experiencing this pain, it is not because you are unloved, it is because you are a being capable of feeling, of suffering, and of being. In Christianity, the words Jesus spoke on the cross are thought-provoking. My God, why have you forsaken me?" Even the figure humanity holds as the holiest asked this question. So this question isn't a lack of faith, it is about human struggles. In Buddhism, suffering is seen as part of the course of life. It is not something to be avoided, it is something to be understood and transformed. In existential philosophy, however, meaning is not merely found, it is created. Even in the midst of suffering, humans possess the capacity to create meaning. No matter which perspective you adopt, confronting this question is a starting point. It is not a temporary state. Is a mother who says no to a child unloving? Is a surgeon cruel when causing pain during an operation? Is a teacher malicious when pushing a student or making things difficult? In the moments when life pushes you to your limits, perhaps the seeds of your greatest transformations are being sown. We know how broken places can heal stronger. In medicine, this is called a bone callus. A bone that heals from a fracture is stronger than it was before the break. This is no guarantee. It's not a promise that every pain leads to a beautiful healing, but it's a moment of shaping that shows pain doesn't destroy you. Countless examples prove this. If you're asking this question right now, you're likely very tired. Maybe you've lost a lot. Maybe you've waited a long time and still are waiting. Maybe you can't see yourself anymore. Know this, it is your right. You don't need to downplay it. You don't need to put on a perfect faith. You don't have to bury your questions, because questions are the door to answers. And sometimes the most honest prayer isn't "thank you for everything," it's asking why. Because that question shows you're seeking an ongoing connection. It is not this video's place to prove whether God loves you or not, but this much can be said: I want to love. This desire comes from somewhere. I understand the meaning. These searches point to something. And if you can ask this question, it means you haven't given up yet. Not giving up is the quietest yet most powerful answer.